Cindy, I'm going to start the webinar now. We should see attendees joining us. We
Okay,
don't have a quorum yet.
okay.
Come on.
Welcome, everybody. We're going to be starting in just a few minutes.
I believe we have it now, Cindy.
Okay. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the January 2023 Community Board 7 meeting. My name is Cindy Vandenbosch, and I'm first vice chair. I will be chairing this evening's meeting as Julio Pena III is not able to attend this evening, at least for the first part of the meeting. Before calling the meeting to order, I would like to take a moment to honor the community service and life of John Garcia. This is a person who served on the board for many years, grew up in Sunset Park, and then moved back to Sunset Park as an adult, and dedicated many, many hours and years to serving this community on the community board. And this was a sudden loss. And as I thought about him, I thought about attending the capital and expense budget committee meetings and just the humor and humility that he brought to that, and also his willingness to listen to and really incorporate the perspectives of many different board members to make sure those were reflected back in the results of those committee meetings. And he just brought such positive and constructive energy and was really a steady presence on this board. So I would like for us to take a moment of silence, but before I do that, I know there are some board members that were even closer to him than I was. Are there one or two people that would like to share a few words in his memory? Joan?
Well, John was the greatest person that you would ever want to be associated with. He was kind, considerate, and caring. And he was on the board with us for many years. And I really considered him not only a colleague, but a friend. And I wish his family, I was unfortunately unable to attend the service. But my prayers, my condolences, and my love go out to all of his family and everyone that he loved, because we certainly did love John.
Thank you so much, Joan. Pat?
John, I knew John for the very first day that he joined the board and immediately became a friend. He was funny as all hell, would have got heart of gold, loved his community. I was very honored and to be at his service. Cindy was there at the time that I was there, and I believe Zach was there. It was a beautiful, beautiful going home that they did for him. And I will always remember his smile and his kindness.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. Grisel?
I agree with Pat. He always was smiling, very nice smile to everybody. So our condolence to the family. I have the opportunity to go to the funeral home and was very sad. He have a lot of friends, a lot of people there with him. So my condolence for the family and also for us, because we also come part like one family.
That's right, Grisel. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you for those heartfelt words. And let's all now take a moment of silence to remember his life and service. All right. All right, I would like to invite Beverly to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, it's Alex Lados.
I pledge allegiance
to
to the
the
flag
Flag
of the
of the United States of America
America,
and to
to
the
the
republic
republic
for
for
which
which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
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 God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
With liberty and
and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
for all.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Beverly. Now, Maria, shall we do the first roll call?
Yes, I'll call the first roll call.
Oh,
Okay, welcome board members. I will be calling your names. Once you hear your name, unmute yourself, say here are present, and once again, mute yourself. Thank you. Ramona Acevedo? Ramona Acevedo?
Here,
Okay,
here, can you hear me?
thank you. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Amela Sal?
present,
Thank you. Sandra Alfonso?
present,
Thank you, thank you. Grisela Mador?
Present.
Thank you. Genesis Aquino? Genesis Aquino? Nicholas Azadian? Nicholas Azadian? Joan Body?
Here.
Thank you. Stacy Boyd?
here,
Thank you. Gladys Bruno?
present,
Thank you. Joseph Canale? Joseph Canale? Jerry Chan?
Present.
Thank you. Justin Collins?
Present.
Thank you. Christina Das? Christina Das? John DeLuper?
Present.
Thank you. Beatrice DeSapio? I see you. I acknowledge you. Thank you. David Estrada?
Here,
Thank you. Cynthia Felix?
present,
Thank you. John Fantillis?
I'm here.
Thank you. Ken Fung? Ken Fung? Cynthia Gonzalez?
present,
Thank you. Diana Gonzalez? Diana Gonzalez? Hector Gonzalez?
Here,
Thank you.
here,
Thank you. Kenny Guan?
I'm here.
Thank you. Nicole Huang?
yeah,
Thank you. John Johnston?
I'm here.
Thank you. Beverly Kleinman?
Present.
Thank you. Waco? Waco? Barbara Lee?
present,
Thank you. Christina Lem?
I'm here,
Thank you. Jimmy Lee? Jimmy Lee? Lynette Lopez?
here,
Thank you. Paul Mack?
Here.
Thank you. Antoinette Martinez?
present,
Thank you. Aurelis Martinez? Aurelis Martinez? Marilyn Melman,
Here, present. Hi.
thank you. Dan Murphy,
Present.
thank you. Julio Pena III. Rovika Roskenshaw,
Here.
thank you. Karen Rolnick,
Here.
thank you. Pat Ruiz,
Here.
thank you. Damaris Santiago,
Here.
thank you. Sam Sierra,
Present. Good evening, everyone.
thank you. Victor Swinton,
Present.
thank you.
Well,
Cindy Vandenbosch,
Present.
thank you. Catherine Walsh,
Present.
thank you. And Cesar Zuniga. Cesar Zuniga,
Present.
thank you. Roll call has been called.
Thank you, Maria. So I'd like to officially call the meeting to order. And I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as written.
Motion to adopt?
So motion by Pat
I
Ruiz.
second. I second.
And seconded by Jerry Chan. I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the minutes from the December board meeting, December 21st, 2022.
Motion.
Motion to adopt.
Okay, motion by Pat Ruiz, seconded by
Second.
Gladys Bruno. Thank you. Seconded by Gladys Bruno. Thank you. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do next is share the agenda on the screen before
Cindy,
we.
you need a vote on that.
Oh, sorry. Oops. Did I do that with both of them?
No, you missed the vote.
Okay, just kidding. Okay, so let's go back. So we're going to go back to the agenda. My first monthly meeting. Bear with me, everybody. So the first one was motioned by the motion to adopt the agenda.
By Pat.
Motion by Pat and seconded by Jerry Chan. Without objection, I'd like to pass the agenda as presented with unanimous consent. Seeing no objections, the agenda is adopted. And then moving down to the minutes, adopting the minutes for the December 21st board meeting. I had the motion by Pat Ruiz and the second by Gladys Bruno. And without objection, I'd like to pass the meeting minutes from the December board meeting as presented. Okay, seeing no objections, the December board meeting minutes are adopted. Yes. There. All right. So now what I'm going to do is share the agenda so that everyone can see it on the screen. And this also goes for those of you who might like to speak in the first public comment. Please be advised that in the first public comment, it is only, you're only allowed to speak on topics that are going to be covered in the committee reports, of which today there is one, which is about free tax preparation and financial counseling services that can be offered by the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. So that is the one item in the committee reports that we will be reviewing. So that is for the first public comment. But then later on, we're going to have a second public comment. And it's at that time that you'll be welcome to speak on any topic for up to 3 minutes. So our agenda today, we're doing first public comment, then a committee report, then another roll call, elected officials and representatives, chairperson's report, district manager's report, old business, new business, public comment, again on any topic, and then we'll adjourn.
Cindy, we also have some new reps for some of our new elected officials. I wanted to let them know you don't have to raise your hand. Public comment isn't the right time for you to speak. We will call on you at the proper agenda item, which is, I believe, number 9 tonight.
Great. Yep.
So this is the first call for public comment. I have 2 hands up. I know one of them at least is one of our new reps, but I will call them. So Vito Labella, you have 3 minutes to speak.
Can you all see me?
We can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, I don't want to be rude. I didn't disable my thing on purpose. It's just,
No, that's how it works with attendees versus panelists. We could just
Oh.
hear you.
okay, well, fine. Thank you so much. So yes, my name is Vito Labella, and I am representing Assembly Member Lester Chang. So this is, we're hitting the ground running, and I'm just going to be listening to any concerns. First, I would like to express, both on a personal level and on behalf of Mr. Chang, our condolences to the individual who you lost. He sounds like a great individual. If someone would send me information, certainly we'll send an appropriate condolences.
Thank you, Mr. Labella. I would ask your indulgence just to wait until the appropriate time in our agenda. This is, right now, this public comment is only for items that are on the agenda, but you should be coming up very shortly, and we can't see your
All right,
picture.
so what are you asking me to comment on?
I'm sorry?
What are you asking me to comment on?
Nothing yet. Nothing yet. This is for members of the public who wish to comment on any item on the agenda.
So,
Folks,
Jeremy, thank
Get
you
this
so much.
report down.
Thank you so much. You call me.
I'll call you shortly.
Okay, do we have any other hands raised for public comment?
None at this time.
Okay. All right, so the only committee report that we have for today is from the executive committee. And I'd like to refer everyone to the minutes for that. It was a presentation, like I said, from the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection on free tax preparation and financial counseling. It is on YouTube. Please tell your neighbors, let people know about it. And I'm referring everyone to the committee report in the interest of time. Okay, so shall we do the second roll call? Maria?
Sure, I'll call the second roll call. So I will be calling the second roll call. The names that will be called will be the names of board members that were not present at the original roll call. Okay, so Hennessy Aquino. Nicholas Azadian. Joseph Canale. Christina Das. Ken Fung.
Yeah.
Thank you. Diana Gonzalez. Waco. Jimmy Lee. Arelis Martinez. Julio Pena III. Second roll call called already.
Thank you, Maria. So now we have, we're moving to the agenda item, elected officials and representatives report.
So now I'd like to give Mr. Labella the opportunity to
Come on back.
come on back.
Jeremy, I have the list ready, so.
You got it. I just wanted to, since I had cut him off, I wanted to give him the first opportunity. Vito Labella?
Hello, Jeremy, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Great.
Thank you so much. Technical difficulties as always, right? So again, my name is Vito Labella. I'm here for Assembly Member Lester Chang. I'd like to express my condolences to the individual who you lost. Please, somebody send me some information, and the Assembly Member will certainly send his condolences as well. So we are in the process of getting everything up. Our office is going to be in the old Peter Abadi's office. We should be up and running by next week. The phone numbers, everything is still in flux. I did register for this, and I don't want to give out my personal email publicly, but members of the board can contact me at that until we get government issued email addresses. If there are any problems, please contact me through the medium that I registered on. If you have any questions or concerns for Lester Chang, please, if it'd be a good time, if a board member would like to ask, if would like to raise a concern, I would be happy to listen now. If not, please contact us anytime.
I don't see any hands up right now, but we do. Oh, I see one now. I have Dan Murphy.
Hi, I just want to ask Mr. Chang, if you have a district map, since these will all be new, these will be new districts next year, or they are now. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, they are now.
So both is correct. This is a newly redrawn district, but the courts have said that we have to redraw them again. So for the next election, it will be a whole new district. There's public commenting on what the districts will look like. I believe they're going on right now, and the final districts will be released, I believe, in April.
Okay, for the purpose of the service area right now, if you could provide the office with a map of Assemblyman Chang's service area, so we have a better idea of how far into the district and what portion of the district he serves right now.
Absolutely.
Because I believe it was Peter Abadi's district, right? Until
yes, but even though it's been redrawn, so the lines are not exactly the same.
Okay, so if you could send that to the office and the office could share that with members, that would be great. And I would ask that for any new or newly drawn district within the community.
May I get a good email address that I can send it to you?
Well, I won't give you.
We'll post it in the chat for you.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, sir.
Natasha, you can take it away.
Carol Ann Church from the Brooklyn Borough President's Office. Carol Ann, if you're still on, please unmute yourself. Carol Ann Church. I see she's on, but she could be having some technical. I'll go to my next elected official. Carol?
Yes.
Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Good evening, everyone. I bring greetings from Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso. My name is Carol Ann Church, and I am the Director of Community Boards for Brooklyn. I also want to extend condolences on the loss of your board member, a former board member. Loss is something that's really difficult to deal with, but it's great when someone leaves a legacy for us. Just a couple of quick notes. The borough president held his State of the Borough address last week. For those of you who weren't there, I just going to go over a couple of key points. One is funding for nonprofits to purchase permanent space. We know that nonprofits are often hampered with funds and the ability to pay rent. So the borough president will be allocating a portion of his capital budget towards assisting nonprofits in purchasing permanent spaces. This initiative will create jobs, boost Black ownership, and ensure that our organizations remain a lifeboat for our neighborhoods and can focus on service delivery. So solarization for low-income tenants. We're undertaking a large-scale solarization project to alleviate monthly utility costs for low-income tenants and to encourage and advance Brooklyn's transition to renewable energy. The borough president is also partnering with the Central Brooklyn Economic Development Corporation and Job First to incubate Black-owned businesses in Brownsville, the neighborhood with one of the highest unemployment rates in the city at 11.2%. We spoke about our comprehensive planning efforts, which recently were escalated with the release of the existing conditions report and led off with the start of our community engagement period. We have until January 31st to provide input. This plan really will affect everything that comes before the borough president. It is through those lens and its pure database that he will be making his recommendations. So please go to our website, www.brooklyn-usa.org. Look under initiatives, take a look at the comprehensive plan, and make comments. We're accepting comments through January 31st. And of course, you know, community board application season is open. All members, if you're not sure, call us. But you should have received one email from us, and you'll be receiving another if you're up for reappointment. If you haven't gotten an email, most likely means you're not up for reappointment, but I cannot stress enough that once applications close, we're not accepting that single application that's coming in less. So please check, double check that your application is in. Applications close February 14th. And we're really looking to seat a very diverse group of members. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors to consider applying for community board membership. And that's it from Brooklyn Borough Hall. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
Yes, we have a question here from Jerry Chan. Jerry?
Yes, thank you. Hey, real quick, right? So you mentioned that the Brooklyn Borough President is putting some funding to Black-owned business. Is he planning to do the same to the Asian businesses also? Or is this only the Black-owned business?
I would say that because it's in Brownsville, but if you're an Asian-owned, it's a location-based. That's just the large population that's in that location.
Okay, so the answer is no, right? I don't know. I didn't get your answer because in Brownsville, there's also a lot of a laundromat, nail salon, a lot of Asian business owned in that neighborhood too.
I'll get back to you on that.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. And I see Cynthia Gonzalez also has her hand raised. Cynthia?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. One of the questions that I have is, she began by stating that the borough president has funding for non-profit organizations, but then she went into talking about the money for the businesses. Is she talking about, I'm not sure, you know, that part wasn't clear. Like, is this going to be for not-for-profit organizations, or is it going to be also for-profit companies, businesses?
Carol Ann?
Okay, I wasn't sure. So it's two different things. One is funding for nonprofits to purchase permanent space. That's a separate initiative.
For them to purchase space?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other is a small business incubator situated in Brownsville.
No, I got the small business incubators, but then you started talking about businesses, the money that the businesses were going to get. So if the money for the businesses is the incubator money, then I'm assuming that the capital budget will include funding for nonprofits. And is there a specific cause that money needs to be used for?
I don't have that level of detail, but I can get back to you on that.
Thank you so much. I really would appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Carol Ann.
You're welcome.
And there's also David Estrada shared in the chat the recording so that anyone can watch that to get more details. I'm going to take two more, Barbara Lee and then Pat Ruiz. Barbara?
Hi, thank you. Ms. Church, I just wanted to ask you, the applications for the community board, is that supposed to come in the mail, or is that an email that I'm supposed to receive?
And the applications are not coming in the mail. We're encouraging everyone to apply via the online portal. It's on our website, but you
Okay.
should have received an email from us back in November informing you that your term was expiring with a link directly to the application. What I can do for you while we're in this meeting is I can check your expiration date and drop it in the chat.
Okay.
Thanks so much. And Pat Ruiz?
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Pat.
Hi. I just wanted to confirm, clarify. It's capital funding for not-for-profits, correct?
Yes.
Okay, it's not any other kind of funding for not-for-profits, such as sponsorships. Is that something he's thinking of doing?
Yes, this is just about purchasing space.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, Carolyn. We appreciate it. Natasha, who do we have next?
Okay, the next we have Myra Molina, representing Congressman Dan Goldman. Myra, if you're still here, please unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone.
We can
Hi,
hear you, Myra. Hello.
Sorry, one second. Technical difficulties. Hi, everyone. Well, thank you for having me tonight. I'm a former CB7 member. I was there briefly, but I'm still here for the community. I just wanted to give a quick update on Congressman Dan Goldman's any news. 1 second. So we started working with the district office. However, we don't have an office as of now. We're currently doing remote services until the first week of February. Our office was going to be in 340A 9th Street in Brooklyn. And any legislative update, what Dan's really focused on in his upcoming term is to promote democracy, promote good governance integrity, and also he's very focused on affordable housing. So he's joining Congresswoman Velasquez in collating the Public Housing Emergency Response Act. He's also very focused on environmental justice. So he'll be meeting with UPROS this upcoming week just to talk more about what can be done in the community. That's it as of now. If there's any questions or any inquiries, you can visit dan.goldman.gov and submit a privacy release form, and then we can go forward and assist you as well. Do you guys have any questions?
Are there any questions from the board? Katie Walsh.
Thanks. It was just that last part about the website. I didn't understand privacy release form. And then if you could give the address.
Yeah, so the address is on 340A 9th Street in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, sorry. And then what did you say about providing services, that there's a release form?
Yeah, so when it comes to anything regarding privacy, assisting with passports and anything regarding immigration, we usually require a privacy release form to move forward with assistance. So we usually ask constituents to submit that first through the website, and then we move forward by contacting them. And the website is goldman.house.gov.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have one, Pat Ruiz has her hand raised.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. You mentioned, excuse me, you don't have physical office spaces yet, but when you do open, you will be meeting with people one-on-one in the office, correct?
Correct, yes.
And a privacy form is also signed when you do that one-on-one in-person meeting?
Correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Natasha, who do we have next?
Next, I have Jane from Senator Irene Chu's office. Jane, if you're still here, please unmute yourself.
Jason, you can
Hi.
unmute yourself now. Yep.
Yep. Hi, everyone. My name is Jane Duong. I am here on behalf of Senator Ewen Chu. Very happy to see everyone here. Want to wish everybody happy Lunar New Year to those who celebrate. Senator Chu introduced the Lunar New Year resolution, which was adopted today. The resolution recognized the importance of the holiday and the AAPI community's contribution to the state. Also on the Albany side, Senator Chu has been named chair of Library Committee and member of Education, New York City Education and Higher Education Committees. She's also a member of the Civil Service and Pensions, and also a member of the Commerce, Economic Development, and Small Business Committees. And on the district side, on February 4th, our office, along with 30 community-based organizations, are hosting a Southern Brooklyn Lunar New Year celebration. It will be held at New Utrecht High School, February 4th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's open to the public, and we will have raffles and giveaways. On the district office, we are still searching for our main office, but right now we're operating with mobile office hours. So every Wednesdays, we're gonna be at CPC in Sunset Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. On Thursdays, we're going to be at the New Utrecht Library from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Fridays, we're going to be at the McKinley Library from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. If anyone interested to visit us, we can send over a flyer to the community board and you can share it with anyone who might be interested. And our staff can assist in Mandarin, Cantonese, Russian, Urdu, Hebrew, and Arabic. I can, let me share our email and phone number here. I'll also put it in the chat. So the email that you can reach us at is ewenchu@nysenate.gov. And our phone number is 718-333-0311. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a board member whose hand is raised, who may have a question or comment. Katie Walsh.
Thank you. Sorry, I am just following up again. And I know this is the first time that we've had Congressperson Goldman's office come to the community board. And just to say that there are a lot of folks who are likely to be in need of services and support, particularly from our community, Sunset Park and Windsor Terrace, that involve the Congressperson. And I'm focusing on what I heard that I'm a bit troubled by, and I just need to better understand what it is. If you could just be really clear about this waiver, this form that needs to be filled out in order to get services. You're talking about having to go on a website to get services and you need to sign a waiver form. I've never heard this before. And constituent services in our district are really high. So maybe you could just tell us what the process is again. Because this is a community board forum, things get cascaded out and we don't want incorrect information to be cascaded out either.
Okay, Katie, we're do you have any question for Senator Chu for Jane?
Oh, sorry. No, this goes back to Congressperson Goldman's office about the thing that was stated just right before. Sorry.
Okay. I think that clarification would actually be really helpful for the community board, and it's an important point you raise. So I'd just like to ask Mayor Molina to follow up with the community board, and then we can address this in the next monthly meeting, just to clarify. Is there anybody who has any questions for Jane based on the report? Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us and for this update. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, I have Tori Kelly from Senator Gurnard's office. Tori, if you're still here, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy early Lunar New Year to everybody as well. My name is Tori Kelly. I'm Chief of Staff to State Senator Andrew Gurnardis. He's another one of the newly elected figures that are coming and talking to you today. I'll say, I know we're going to send the maps out to the board members, but I think roughly the southern portion of Sunset Park, we go up to 6th Avenue, and the northern portion of Sunset Park, we go up to 5th Avenue. So we have about half, and we share it with Senator Chu. We've been off, we're new to Sunset Park, but we're not new to the state Senate. He was elected in 2019. So currently we have our office in Bay Ridge. We are going to be moving it, as well as having mobile office hours in all of our new neighborhoods, which I'll share with the board so they can disseminate that out. I'm just introducing myself in our office. I'll put everything in the chat, our phone number and email. We're looking forward to working together with all of you. We've already kind of started coming to some committee meetings and talking to the board, specifically on the issues of pedestrian safety, street safety, and transportation last mile trucking. So nice to meet all of you. Looking forward to working with you. And if you have any specific questions, I'm happy to take them.
Do we have any questions from the board? Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment. Otherwise, Tori, I'd like to thank you for joining us, and please send our regards to the senator.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next, I'd like to call on Edward Cerna from Councilmember Alexa Aviles' office. Edward, if you're still on, please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am certainly still on. Happy to be back. Happy New Year, everyone. Quick updates from the council member's office. So we're doing a slight update and modification to our district office hours. Year prior, we were open Monday through Thursday, and allowing Friday for constituent forward staff to catch up on work. We're going to be opening up later on Tuesdays at 11 a.m., but we're going to be adding extended hours on Wednesday. So now on Wednesday, we'll be in the office servicing constituents through 7 p.m. because we understand that this is a working class community, and sometimes folks need that extra time to come a little later on in the day. So we'll be doing that, and we have implemented it already. Also, we had a number of takeaways from last year about the services that constituents really need in this community. One was tax prep, pre-tax prep. Last year we had, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days of tax prep, and the appointments, once those opened up, were gone instantly. So this year, actually, we're going to be expanding that. So starting February, actually January 1st through April 13th, on Mondays and Wednesdays, we'll be having free tax prep from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And on Saturday, we'll be having 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it'll be 3 days for almost the entire tax season, actually. So that's a great win for our community. I'll be sending those flyers. That'll be in English, Spanish, and Chinese, so that we can be sending out to residents and for sure taking advantage of that resource. Lastly, the Fifth Avenue Committee Affordable Senior Housing was finished over on 63rd and 4th. As we know, housing is like the #1 issue that we see in our office in this community for such a long time. And so it's a tremendous win that this affordable housing is finally going to be coming online. We're going to be co-sponsoring 2 virtual workshops on Tuesday, January 24th at 6 p.m. and Monday, February 27th on 6 p.m. so that residents can learn what the process is to apply for this housing. And for those of you who are already familiar, I think the application is live now, so you can go on Housing Connect and start applying now. So I'll leave it at that. I know we have a long agenda ahead of us. My condolences to John as well. I did serve with him when I was on the board, and I was at his funeral, so it was definitely really surreal even for me to be there. But as many have said, he was a tremendous, powerful person in this community, and he will surely be missed on the board. So I'll leave it with that. Happy to answer any questions. If not, you know where to find us at 4417 4th Avenue, and at my email is ecerna@council.nyc.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. Yes, we do have a question from Pat Ruiz.
You're on mute, Pat.
Pat, you're on mute.
A little too quick with the fingers. Hello, Edward. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Edward, I just wanted to know, what are the salary levels for the free tax preparation? And are you going to have people speaking the multiple languages?
Languages, yes. So anyone, and those are great questions. I can confirm that we'll have English and Spanish. They think they're trying to work on the Chinese. We do have a Chinese staffer, so if worst case comes to worst, we'll see how we address that. But it's something that the tax prep services is still trying to coordinate. Insofar as the income levels, anyone with an income of 80,000 or less with dependents, or anyone with an income of 56,000 or less if they're single. And anyone who is self-employed with expenses, they would have to make an income of 35,000 or less. And again, that'll all be on the flyer with a list of like all of the documentation you need to bring, so that when you have the flyer, you know where to call to book the appointment, and you'll know, where you fall insofar as the ranges and what you need to bring in.
Thank you.
I see one more hand raised, so we'll take John DeLuper's question.
Hi, Edward. So my question was also about the free tax prep. Is this through the same program that presented to the board, I think it was last week or the week before, that's through the DCA, and where you can even do like drop off? You don't even have to like stick around while they do it? Or is it a different program?
It is through DCWP. I think you said DCA, it's DCWP, Consumer and Worker Protection. It's Grow Brooklyn. And I should preface this. So when I say tax prep, and I apologize, it could be a little misleading. So what they do is these folks fill out the forms and sort of go through, like walk you through it, but then they take those back to the folks that actually do the tax prep. So I don't want that to get lost in translation, so that we're clear and we're managing expectations. And because there was some of that confusion last year too. So they'll come fill out the forms with you. These are I forget what the technical term is, but yes, it's the same program, and I think you could reference the presentation they gave insofar as like what the credentials are that the folks are that are filling the paperwork out.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edward. Please send our best to Councilmember Aviles.
Will do. Thank you all.
Thank you. Natasha, do we have any?
Yes, I have some more. I have John Watkins here from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. John, please unmute yourself.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good. Well, first of all, my sincere condolences to the loss of your board member. I know it's very difficult when you work with someone closely and in a very collaborative way for a long time. So please accept my condolences. Dia Gonzalez continues his intensive work in the community. Last year was very successful, and Dia Gonzalez just wants me to emphasize that his foremost concern is the safety of the community. I mean, it's been kind of a roller coaster ride somewhat in terms of sometimes the numbers show that crime is going up, crime is going down. But one thing Dia Gonzalez and his ADAs, along with our partners in NYPD, are doing is really focusing very intensively on getting guns off the street. and also out of homes as well. The DA had a gun buyback program at the end of end of December, which was very successful. Over 200 guns were turned in. Many of these guns are coming from households where people have firearms that are lawful in many instances, that are in closets and bureaus. And oftentimes, you know how children, they like to ramble, and they get a hold of these weapons sometimes. And as we've heard recently about the unfortunate situation in Virginia, where a young child, 6 years old, got a hold of his mother's firearm and ended up shooting a teacher. It's very, very unfortunate. So the effort to get guns out of the hands of people, both in their homes and also illegal weapons off the street, is ongoing. And the DA does have an initiative that he wants. It's called Stop Violence. And that is something that is in coordination with the NYPD, other law enforcement partners, as well as the courts, to effectively rid these guns, which are just terrorizing our communities. The next thing is, I always emphasize, and I encourage people to go to our website, brooklynda.org, and go into the press release area. This is what I would call the DA's office's report card. Every day, most days, there are press releases about the adjudications of different offenses and prosecutions that are going on that have been successful, that the DA has brought forth, along with his ADAs, over 600 of them. And so I was reviewing over the past year a number of these, going all the way back to a year, and I think I just really want people to see the very important work that our office is doing. Oftentimes we hear about these things in the media, and you know, people have a short attention span, and there's a short media cycle, and they're off the radar. But these matters are ongoing for many, many months and sometimes years, and finally they do come to be prosecuted. And so please go to our website and just have a look at some of the work that the DA's office is doing. And I must say, these aren't always pleasant things to revisit, but it just shows that the DA Gonzalez and his team are very effective in protecting the community. Just wrapping up, there will be some cultural events coming up in the first part of the year. So our office will be alerting the community to this. And we're going to be doing a number of things in the first quarter of the year. And so we definitely want the community to participate. That's all I have for right now. Again, my condolences to your colleague, and I look forward to seeing all of you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have one question for you from Jerry Chan.
Yes.
Hey, first of all, I'd say great that the DA is doing the gun buyback program. But what I want to say is, in the neighborhood, right, is not about gun violence, right? It's about the petty crimes that people do, robbery, knives and stuff. But people get arrested and they get released. Is the DA doing something about catch and release?
The DA, in coordination with the NYPD and the courts, it's a collaboration between all three. These crimes that are occurring, which I understand are misdemeanors in many instances and are petty repeat offenders that become intensive nuisances. And the NYPD is doing their diligence in arresting these people, oftentimes repeatedly. The prosecution does occur with the DA's office, and then it goes to the court, which has the final adjudication. And so oftentimes the courts are releasing these individuals. And so I do understand, and the DA understands, that it seems to be kind of a revolving door in many instances, and trust and believe that he is working in coordination with all of the NYPD and other law enforcement agencies, as well as the courts and the judges, to address this. It's a legislative matter, and it's definitely high on the radar of DA Gonzalez.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John, for this report from DA Gonzalez. We appreciate. Oh, I see we have one other hand raised. I'll take one more question from Cynthia Gonzalez.
Okay.
Okay, well, I want to address what I've been hearing, a lot in the news is that these so-called petty crimes where people go into like, Rite Aids or CVS or whatever, and they just empty out the shelves and stuff like that, and with impunity. It's like, when does a petty crime become like a felony? Like, like if it's like you've stolen $10,000 over the past months and you've been going to court, and this is all like public knowledge. So like when does it stop? Because we're in a commercial district where we can't really afford to lose any of the stores that we have because because of what goes on with impunity. These people, they got locked up, it might be 500 here, 1,000 there. And then, it becomes like a felony. It becomes like grand larceny. This person has committed grand larceny. And what's being done about that? I'd like to know.
Well, again, it is a legislative issue. And I do understand when individuals are arrested repeatedly. And as you said, it might be, $25 here, $200 there. And so as these crimes occur, but they are prosecuted individually. And so it's a legislative issue that is, for the most part, out of the DA's hands.
Okay, can you explain to me what a legislative issue means?
That
Because
means
I don't understand that.
Yeah, okay. That means the state. It means the state legislature from the governor on down. They are the ones that affect the legislation, the laws that go into effect in the community. And it's the guidelines by which the DA and all DAs pretty much in New York State, under New York State, have to operate within those guidelines, along with law enforcement agencies such as the NYPD and others. And so each agency cannot on its own go out and make its own rules pertaining to such items. And so I would encourage you to write your legislature, your legislative representative, including the governor, and express it, who I know that Governor Hochul is very aware.
But are you telling me that the governor has put into law a bill or something that says that, as long as, these people, supposedly low-level crime people, don't reach a certain limit that they're free to go? Is that what the law says? Because you're from the district attorney's office, so you know the law. I do not know the law. But if you're telling me that Kathy Hochul is condoning all of this crime that she knows, it's citywide, it's everywhere, where businesses are losing a lot of money. Okay, maybe they're writing it off because they're not poor like us. But the bottom line is that if it just becomes intolerable, they're going to leave the community, and we're going to have like pharmacy deserts here in Sunset Park.
Of course, I'm not saying that the governor on her own accord can enact the laws. It's a collaborative between the legislatures, the state Senate and the House legislatures, as well as local governments. And so it's a collaborative issue that works in coordinations with law enforcement agencies, including district attorneys. That's as much as I can tell you right now. I know it's a very frustrating aspect, and trust and believe that DA Gonzalez, as well as all of his partners, no matter if they're other DAs or the NYPD and other law enforcement agencies, are very aware of this. And it is very frustrating, for our office to know that there are repeat offenders. But once it goes to the courts and the judges and so forth make the decision that an individual is released, that is pretty much out of the DA's hands. They can make recommendations, which they do, and that's done on an individual basis. But again, I would stress, and the most effective thing is to contact your individual representatives and to let them know your concerns and how it's affecting and impacting your community.
Cynthia, this also sounds like a topic that could be an agenda item for a public safety meeting as a follow-up. So I thank you for this question. It's definitely a concern, and it does sound like something that we're not going to solve today in this meeting. But we thank you, John, for joining us.
And I will definitely express to D. Gonzalez and other ADAs this continuing issue, and they're very aware of it, but they need to, and they do hear it from myself and my colleagues who represent other communities throughout Brooklyn. And so we're very much aware of the frustration that people are having about repeat offenders. And I know for a fact that the Trader Joe's on Court Street, they've had to hire security, including off-duty uniformed NYPD, especially back during the holidays, because people were literally going in and walking out with merchandise. And so it's definitely a very, very frustrating and critical matter.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Natasha, who do we have next?
I have Anastasia Yaskova from the Mayor's Office Community Assistance Unit. Anastasia, if you're still here, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening. No, my name is Anastasia Yaskova, and I'm a Brooklyn Board Director from Community Affairs Unit, Office of the Mayor. On behalf of the Mayor's Office, I would like to bring greetings and wish everyone happy and healthy New Year, and future happy Lunar New Year. I would also like to send the condolences to the family and members of the board for losing their part of the community, their friend, their member of the family, and the partner in life. It's hard and tough to deal with. So we would like to send the condolences, and if there is any assistance required, please feel free to reach out. I would also like to thank the community board for the amazing work that you provide and services you provide, essential services you provide for your community. And also, I would also like to express my appreciation of serving as a link between community and administration, and I will place my information in the chat and feel free to reach out. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Anastasia. Are there any questions? Seeing no questions, Natasha, do we have any other elected officials?
That's it. That is it for my list.
Okay, great. So we're now closing the elected officials and representatives report and moving to the chairperson's report. I'm going to take the privilege of chairing this meeting and just say, please let people know, let your neighbors know, leaders in the community, people that are active in the community about the open community board applications. So the applications are due on the 14th of February. And I would just like to encourage everyone themselves to make sure that if you're due to apply, that you get that application in on time. And also let's get some energy. Let's invite people from the community, talk to your neighbors. Let's get more people involved and excited about joining the community board. All right. I will now, there's one other thing. This is not within the chairperson's report, but I want to make sure that I saw that there were a few people that were not necessarily acknowledged in the second roll call. If you did not respond to roll call, can you please raise your hand so that we can get you? Okay, I see Jimmy Lee's hand is raised. Maria, do you need to hear from and Arelis Martinez as well?
Yes. So I'll call their names and just have them say present when I call their name. That way I can acknowledge them. Okay, so Jimmy Lee.
Present.
Thank you. Arelis Martinez. Arelis Martinez.
Present.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, thanks so much.
I'm here too. I don't think you called my name earlier.
A roll call was called and all the names that weren't called originally were called a second time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've been here and I didn't answer for any, and I didn't hear my name. I wasn't here at the beginning.
Okay, I'll mark you present.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Waiko. I'm here.
Okay,
Waiko.
Waiko, I acknowledge you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm going to pass to Jeremy for the district manager's report.
Good evening, everybody. Item 1, Happy New Year. So January, we can get back this year to acknowledging and thanking our board members and members of the community who supported our holiday toy drive. We had a successful year. It's the first time we did it in 3 years. I want to thank Natasha Cordero, who every year, most years, is driven crazy in December, putting together donors and organizations that we donate to. So this year we were able to support Women's Survival Space, the Glow Hotel Family Shelter, United Volunteers for the Community. I also want to thank the Sunset Park Bid, who gave us a very generous donation and who also acted as our fiscal conduit. And of course, Griselle Amador and the seniors at the United Senior Citizens of Sunset Park, who every year provide a huge amount of toys. Thank you, everybody who participated this year. We look forward to a larger gift drive next year. Last week, I had the opportunity once again to go to federal prison, and hopefully, I've been trying to work on this for 3 wardens, but hopefully by the end of this month at the Public Safety Committee meeting on the 30th, we should finally be able to meet one of our wardens, our new warden, who wants to do more outreach to the community. So I think that prison has been in this community for 31 years. I think this is the first time we're ever going to get to meet any of the wardens. So hopefully you can join us then. We also have a second agenda item, which is not coming to me right now. Julio and I attended the borough president's meeting on January 5th regarding codifying rules for community board appointments, assisting boards with matters dealing with city agencies, as well as training and technical assistance. There will be more information on this very soon, but I took the opportunity to speak about potential conflicts of interest with legal assistance when it deals with the city law department, which represents the mayor and other city agencies. We may have questions about other city agencies who have other ideas. Well, many people have said it, but a reminder that applications are due on February 14th. Last week, I was interviewed by the Fund for the City of New York regarding better attuning their program for community board needs, their fellowship program. You may remember 2 months ago, I introduced Dimitri Johnson, who's working right now with the Transportation Committee on Third Avenue study, as well as the BQE study and the last mile trucking issue. And you may also remember Mia Perez, who had previously been a fellow with us back in the early days of the Industry City issue. She now actually works for one of our council members, Councilmember Hanif. So we've had some good fellows, but hopefully working with the fund, we can better attune to the needs of not just our board, but other boards, and make this program available to every board across the city. The Fifth Avenue Committee has announced the Sunset Ridge Affordable Senior Housing virtual information sessions. That's going to be for the housing that is soon to open up, the 9-story, 83-unit facility on 4th Avenue and 63rd Street. The first one is going to be on January 24th at 6 p.m. The second is Monday, February 27th at 6 p.m. There's translation available in Spanish, Mandarin, and Arabic. I believe we have sent this out in email to everybody on our contact list. We'll make sure to do it again. We know senior housing is a huge issue, and we'd like to get our own community involved in that lottery as much as possible. Last week, I had the opportunity to meet the 6 new police officers fresh from the academy who are at the 72nd precinct. So we have 6 new officers. Surprisingly, very well attended by board members. Cynthia Jeffers was there, David Estrada was there, Grisel Amador, and also former board members, Delvis Valdez and Edgar Alvarez were there. So we all had an opportunity to talk up the community board, how important it is for our police to work with the community board and others, of course. And I spoke specifically about the need for open communication. And I think everybody talked about respect being a two-way street. Finally, liquor licenses. There have been 6 new and renewal applications available in the office for anybody who'd like to look through them. And then finally, the CompStat Police Department information was sent to board members in the package yesterday. And Happy New Year again.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Are there any questions for Jeremy? Cynthia? So I'm going to take 3 questions. Cynthia, Jerry, and then Karen.
Okay.
Cynthia?
I was looking at the comp stats from the last board meeting, and quite frankly, I didn't really understand them very much. Like, I don't, it's hard for me to ask the question, but I really didn't understand the reports that much, like going back from, I think it was, a week ago, and then I think it's some time ago, and then it goes back to the year. I don't know how to interpret these reports.
So Cynthia, if you'd like to call me at the office, I'd be happy to explain.
But you know what, Jeremy? It's not. I'm thinking in my head, it's not just me that doesn't understand them. Can we get somebody to come to the board and present on the comp stats and what that actually means?
I'm sure we could get our local precinct at some point soon.
I appreciate that, because I think that we need to be educated, because it's very confusing, and because the way they list the crimes and then how the crimes progress or they regress, we don't understand that.
This is also a weird month for CompStat because it goes into the past year. This month is only 2 weeks old. So when it shows you 28 days, some of those crimes were from 2022 and some of them were from 2023.
That's correct. But
so
you know what?
This month is a little weird for it.
I don't care if they just do 2022. Which is like a whole year, and explain it to us, what happened.
We will ask them to do that when they come to an upcoming meeting.
I appreciate that very much, Jeremy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Jerry?
Hey, so there was a email that went out, with the collaboration of the Councilwoman's office about concern of choosing the new commanding officer of 72 precinct. Is there any update on that?
I believe the Councilwoman's office is trying to organize a meeting. I don't know any specifics about it.
All right, wait. I'll call you and later and talk about it. Not later, but tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Karen?
Hi, Jeremy, you just reminded me of this when you mentioned about the liquor licenses, and that's that we are supposed to be reviewing dispensary licenses as well, and I'm seeing dispensaries pop up in my neighborhood, and I'm wondering if you have any word from the city on what the situation is with the dispensaries?
So it's the state law, it's not the city. There is a court injunction that they are not looking at any potential licenses for any business in Brooklyn. So those are unlicensed businesses.
Thank you, Jeremy. We do have one more question. David Estrada?
Sorry, just a quickie. There was outgoing communication about the community board's relationship to approving block parties. And I think it's kind of important to get that on the record for the public audience. Could you capsulize that?
Sure,
Like
it was part of my report last month, but the community board is no longer, this community board is no longer part of the approval process for block parties in the district. It remains with the 72nd precinct and with the street activity permit office.
Thank you so much. So that concludes the district manager's report. Old business is the next item on the agenda. Do I see any hands raised for old business? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move to the next item on the agenda, which is new business. Katie? Well, Katie Walsh.
Thank you. I do have a couple items. I will try be quick about it. So we wanted to, with the transportation committee, there were a couple of things that we wanted to highlight. So just to let the folks know that who had participated in this, we had the a car share company and DOT present on a car share location. There were a lot of perspectives that were offered with initial sites that they had proposed. They came back hearing the community board. At least for this proposal, the final location is 4401 Fifth Avenue. So it's not on a residential street, it's on Fifth Avenue and it's along the park. And that was one of the considerations that people had suggested. So that's that outcome. And just to stress that the importance of having DOT come to the community board, engage us on proposed locations and get feedback, and then be able to have an outcome that actually aligns with what people have expressed is really important. In the vein of talking about Department of Transportation, we got an email in early January about loading zones. So of course, with the rise of e-commerce and more, deliveries everybody has, right? There's the vans that just show up and just, do what they do, but we actually do have loading zones. And our community did not, as far as I understand, we did not have a presentation when DOT had first rolled out the official loading zones because it got caught up in the COVID time shift of like moving to meetings. So anyway, DOT never came and presented to our community board on the official loading zones. They sent us a note in January, Community Board 7, about presenting on some additional locations for loading zones, 635 41st Street and 600 44th Street. So basically adding those two loading zones to the official loading zones that we already have. We asked for a presentation to engage the community, kind of rinse and repeat what we just had with this car share, and they told us no, and that they don't have resources. We have now been going back and forth, and Jeremy is trying to get DOT to engage and show up and actually engage the community on rolling out these loading zones. So that's a TBD that I just wanted to share, but it's you may live there or have friends that live at 635 41st Street and 600 44th Street. So I wanted to share that. And then the other thing that is timely and coming up is the MTA Brooklyn Bus Network redesign. This is the time to give feedback about their proposals of what's out there. But, if you can, please come on Tuesday, January 31st at 6:30. There's a virtual workshop. So I'll drop a link in to sign up. And you can also just, provide your comments. We have been back and forth and pushing. Jeremy's been doing this for so long, but to restore what are basically just plastic, bollards, but to restore them back to the bike lane on 4th Avenue. And we've just started to see, I haven't been down there. So if you have between 29th and 40th Street, the DOT is finally starting to put those back in. So that's the bike lane on the north and south side. But after a lot of delays and time of following up and asking for this. And we don't have a date yet, but just we've been told that the 3rd Avenue study will happen and that there will be a community process. There was a date that was proposed, but they haven't finalized the location. So we're going to come back. This would be in March. But that's for the 3rd Avenue below the expressway, right below the BQE. And there's also the BQE revisioning process. And so we've shared those dates a lot, but at the end of March. But, please go to the website and check. Again, I'll drop this link in there. But those meetings are the one to be really aware of is Thursday, March 23rd. That's in person. That's about BQE South. That's about our part of the district. And a bunch of community nonprofit organizations were awarded money from Department of Transportation to support in that outreach process. Many of them are based here in our community. They're well-known organizations to us, Mixteca, Uprose. That's just 2 that came to the top of my head, but there's a bunch of community partners that are going to be involved in that outreach process to get people engaged for the BQE. So John and I and Jeremy and Julio, everyone is trying to coordinate the 3rd Avenue work with the BQE work. So these 2 things are not done in isolation, which is how DOT seems to be approaching it right now. That was a lot, sorry. And I will just drop a bunch of links in here. Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership on this, Katie. We really appreciate it. Antoinette Martinez.
Hi, everyone. I just have a couple of updates from the Housing Committee. So we're going to be meeting next week on the 25th. During the meeting, we're going to be having a presentation by the New York Foundation for Senior Citizens, and they're going to be speaking and presenting on their home sharing program. During next week's meeting, we're also going to be discussing with committee members and members of the public more about how the Housing Committee is going to be meeting regularly. We're going to be hosting monthly meetings. So we're also going to be discussing which discussion items that we'll be prioritizing for the rest of the year. If you're not able to attend next week's meeting, but if there's any items that the board wishes for the Housing Committee to focus on, please send those suggestions my way, as we'll be voting on prioritizing items next week. I know that a few folks have already mentioned that the 5th Avenue Committee's senior housing application is live on Housing Connects. I also want to highlight that there is also another housing development that is also available to be applied for through the lottery on Housing Connects, and that is the development at 875 4th Avenue. We have been in contact with we've been trying to get in contact with the developer and the contractor that they have working on those affordable units, but we have not been successful in confirming a date for them to present to the board on that. But hopefully we can solidify a date very soon. But I did want to highlight that in Housing Connects, there are currently 2 live applications for folks to apply for. And then lastly, really quick, I also wanted to highlight that there is a developer by the name of eHome Real Estate at 685 4th Avenue, and this is on 22nd Street. And they've actually applied to enroll in the city's voluntary cleanup program. And this is something that's sponsored by the New York City Office of Environmental Remediation. The lot is currently vacant, and they're proposing as a future use of the site to consist of a 12-story mixed residential and commercial building. Currently, the public comment period is open, and it's going to run until February 6th, where folks can comment on their draft remedial action work plan. The fact sheet was circulated by Jeremy to board members, but we're looking to circulate that to the rest of the board and to the public this week, so that folks can comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the report, the updates. Okay, so I don't see that there's any other new business, so we're going to move into the second public comment. And as a reminder, to anyone who wishes to speak. You have 3 minutes. You may speak on any topic, but public comment isn't necessarily a space for sort of back and forth, like questions and answers and that sort of thing. That's where reaching out to the board office directly with individual questions is important. So I will start with board member David Estrada, and then I also see that we have a member of the public who has raised their hand. So David, would you like to?
Yeah, I'm hoping for 30 seconds, not 3 minutes. Just from the profound to the trivial, but still important to me. We've replaced the waste baskets that have been missing from Fifth Avenue. So I want to say it's kind of important. 27 out of 96 waste baskets were gone on Fifth Avenue for months. Yeah, like 51st and 52nd Street had all 4 corner waste baskets gone. Our guys at Brooklyn 7 Garage tried hard. They're good guys. They wanted them. They couldn't find them. They're in short supply. So what do you know? They were yanking them from the Diker Heights holiday zone. And they said, hey, instead of taking them to the warehouse, at least we'll fill in, in Sunset Park. So we're only missing 7 baskets right now. That's why they're white, because they're the Christmas baskets. It's a supply chain, manufacturing. They came from China, whatever. There's a long story. As soon as we can get good baskets again, we will. But it was a concern to merchants because they're afraid of getting tickets because nobody has a place to throw candy wrapper, much less all the illegal dumping. So anyway, we kicked it upstairs to Manhattan, DSNY, and thank goodness for small victories. For a moment we got a little relief, and just maybe a little happy thing for the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, I think actually on a related, we have someone whose hand is raised, who I believe is from the Department of Sanitation. So it's a related topic, perhaps. So I'm going to call on Jason Chen. If we can unmute Jason Chen.
Jason, you could unmute yourself now.
Hi everyone, my name is Jason Chen. I'm a community liaison with the sanitation department. So with that question that about the little basket missing, because honestly, I have no analysis about that, but I can look into that, see what's going on, check with our cleaning office and find out what exactly was happening. And illegal dumping is like, we are aware that it's a citywide issue and we've been dealing with that for years. And again, if anybody observe the condition happening, let us know, report it right away, to us, and then we can following up. The more detail you provide to us, the better we can, get those people who are doing illegal dumping.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jason.
You're welcome. And on beside that, I have a department announcement for the new trust set out rules. As a part of city mayor's administration, the ongoing commitment for the cleaning of New York City streets, and and going to be trends in the economic recovery. So with the new rules, currently we have what we have is garbage set out time is 4 p.m. After 4 p.m., everybody, every household set up a garbage, trash, recycling, composting. So all those material can set out after 4 p.m. a night before the collection day. But then since we want to be reduce the amount of the hours the garbage is sitting on the streets, that the city mayor allow us to adjust the time, and it's already passed by the city council last month. So starting April 1st this year, so all the garbage from the household citywide is going to be set out after 8 p.m. instead of setting out after 4 p.m. because the garbage is setting out on the street from 4 p.m. to the next day morning. It's more than 14 hours, some of them even longer than time. Some people setting out garbage before 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. So the garbage is sitting on the sidewalk, almost 2/3 of the daytime, for the day sitting on the street. So the city mayor's office, have that asked to adjust the sitting hour. All the garbage in New York City, including commercial garbage, the setting hours after 8 p.m. So if the household property owner or the garbage setting out in a container with a lid, they can set it out after 6 p.m. So if the garbage is sitting out in the back, has to be go after 8 p.m. Of course, there are some businesses setting out earlier than the hour. If they're closing at 6 p.m., 5 p.m., they can set the garbage out at the closing time. So for those businesses closing out earlier than 8 p.m., they can't do that. So they'll be setting out at the closing time.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining us.
You're welcome.
And I see we also have a hand raised from another member of the public. It is Roxana Benavides from the Sunset Park Library. If you'd like to unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening. Happy New Year, happy and healthy New Year, and also an early happy Lunar New Year. I wanted to start by inviting everybody to tomorrow's celebration, early celebration of the Lunar New Year with Brooklyn Public Library. Join us for Korean farmers percussive music and then performance at 4:00 p.m. at the library. In addition to that, we are doing also our very popular Lunar New Year craft grab and go kits that are available at the branch. And we'll continue also with the celebration of a kids grade origami, where they're gonna learn how to fold a cute three-dimensional rabbit for Lunar New Year. I also want to mention that about the program that we have about BPL, Home Internet Access Program. This is something that is from the FCC, which provides qualifying customers $30 credit to their internet or cell phone bill. There are many ways to qualify, but those receiving a SNAP, Medicaid, veterans benefits, and other services may qualify. We will have navigators helping all those who want to submit an application for the discount. There will be navigators available at the branch. In addition to that, the library wants to continue with the With Connect Brooklyn. And it's a program, an initiative where the patrons can borrow a laptop and a hotspot from BPL. Sunset Park is one of the libraries that has this program, and we still have laptops. It's a Chromebook and a hotspot that they can borrow, and they will have it available or borrow from the moment that they participate in the program until September this year. So the news that we want to share is about the Librarians of the Year. The great news that we have is that Book on Ban team at BPL have been honored as the Librarian of the Year by the National Library Journal. It was Book on Ban is a fight censorship across the country by giving teens anywhere in the US the ability to apply for a library card for electronic access to our ebooks and audiobooks. Over 6,000 young adults had requested cards so far from every state in the nation. In addition to that, we also want to mention about our Culture Pass programs that are available from anyone who has a public library card to make free reservations at more than 75 theaters, museums, and other performing arts venues. They can get free tickets, and the only thing that you need is to have a library card. So they can visit culturepass.nyc or visit any of the libraries, and we will have information so how they can get free tickets to all these locations. Thank you, and Happy New Year, and Happy New Lunar New Year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you and everyone at the library.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we have a hand raised from a member of the public. I believe the name is Sari Shore. If we'll unmute you so that you may speak, and please introduce yourself and your connection to the district.
Hi, thank you, Cindy. Yes, my name is Sari Shore, and I am a Park Slope resident for over 25 years. And my concern is regarding some of the new businesses that are coming into our district. You all may have noticed the change in the dynamic of the shops and restaurants that line Fifth Avenue, for instance. And our shops and restaurants and boutiques go a long way to define the character of our neighborhood. And just to give you a specific example, a smoke shop has just opened on St. John's Place between 5th and 6th Avenue. Now, this is a residential block. And I'm wondering, how can we find out if these businesses are zoned for where they're opening? And what is the approval process for businesses that have now come in, especially after COVID?
Sari, I think that you live in the Community Board 6 district and not the Community Board 7 district. The area you're describing is the CB6. So I would encourage you to reach out to the Community Board 6 office.
All right.
So
their policies across Brooklyn must be very similar. So
yes, and yes, but the public comment is typically just a comment, but I just wanted to let you know that it would be best to contact your local community board, CB6, about this question and issue, and they'll be able to help you.
Well, I appreciate that, Cindy. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so I do not see any other hands raised from the public. I do see 2 community board members' hands raised, and those will be the last 2 that I will take. And I just, in the interest of time, if this is an issue that can be addressed in a committee, we've had a lot of opportunities to speak throughout the meeting. So if it's something that can be addressed in a committee, please consider that. Okay, thank you so much. Cynthia.
I have a very quick question. I wanted to know how many openings do we have for community board applicants? That's all.
Okay, so that's something that
we currently have 5 openings.
Thank
I don't
you,
know if
Jeremy.
certain people are not going to reapply or not.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy. Barbara Lee.
Hi, how you doing? So I wanted to find out, who can I contact about the garbage cans that's missing in my neighborhood, because we've been having a massive rat problem and they took away our garbage cans and people are just leaving the garbage on the corners now.
You can call me, Barbara. Call me or email me.
Okay.
And I see Jason Chen also put their contact information in the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So I do not see any other hands raised. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Wait, who just motioned?
David.
David?
Seconded by Pat.
And do I need a second? Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, Barbara Lee. Second. All right, have a great evening. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Good job, Cindy.
Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Yes. And
Thank
good to see all you people after the holidays.
All right.